All right. Today, it's all gonna go wrong. Cool. All right, we'll work on this over a little bit. And hopefully an easy night. No such thing. Hey, man. It's a little late. Don't let me distract you. But thanks for joining in. This is a, yeah, no, I'm back. I'm back. There's probably a tendency to think the worst. I was like, oh, it's so consistent. Now that he's missed a few days. What's going to happen? Is it all? And it's like the plan is to see how far I can get with adding essentially what we would call local color to these characters. Right now they have no color. And if you add what we would call the local color, it would be like, what would be the color of the paint that you would paint it, irrespective of the lighting? Shit, hold on. Let's see how this goes. Okay, I think the audio's back. And hi, Jules. How are you? It's been a while. Hope you're well. And thanks for popping in. And hope you're doing well. This is going to be a kind of it's disrespectful somewhat, maybe a little, to call it a maintenance stream. But this is a busy with uni, actually walking there right now. Good. Well, I'm glad you're busy with uni. That's good. Danny, you don't know that Jules is in Poland. You feel burnt out. Tell me about it. Jules is in Poland and she's starting her college work, I guess, workload today. Not starting it, but continuing it in the morning. I don't know what time it is in Poland, but feels like it must be early. Feeling burnt out. Man. Jeez. Other than like, just imagine it worse, and then you'll look back on this as the good old days. That's how it would be. No, that's not helpful, but you know, you have my sympathies, all right? You're running late. Yeah. Burn it up. 8 a.m. in Poland. There you go. This is why I love Twitch. You've got the whole world at your fingertips. And Jules, Danny is a newcomer to the Join Max stuff, but he's quite the talented young artist, so it's good. Made a painting with my girlfriend. You can share it later. Okay, all right, definitely. Who's new? Yeah, Danny, believe it or not, you're new. You're definitely new. Not in a bad way. Jules was there when there were like I had one viewer. It was her. Now I've got 2 viewers, so it's literally doubled. If we wait long enough, things will triple. Anyway, things are going decently well with the I mean, what can you say? Like, the world sucks and social media sucks and everything sucks, but for the most part, people are responding well to the projects, and I got my first 12 Zelda pieces out, so that's a bit of a big milestone for me. And in the meanwhile, my career as a storyboard artist sort of self-righted itself, so I don't have as much gloom and doom about this being my only hope. Now this can be as more for my enjoyment than for my sustaining. I don't know. I deserve a bigger audience. Yeah, but if you had that, or I had that, you know, I couldn't possibly, I don't know, give due where it's due, you know. Anyway, no, I appreciate the company and the help. Tonight, you can see what I'm doing. I'm just coloring in these little bits of shapes. This is a commission for, here's a fun thing about me, is that, when I was young, I didn't necessarily make friends easy, but friends would find me, and that was quite the advantage. But I have a friend who's into D&D, and while I'm D&D neutral. Every year we keep adding it up, and we've been friends for like 30 years. Like, and I'm 42. Yeah, so it's probably more like 31 years at this point. 'Cause I'm pretty sure I met this guy when I was 11. Anyway, it's nice to be loyal. How about that? A little bit of, in a world of fakery. How about some fidelity, you know? Oh my gosh. Jules, you're gonna give a poem. Bigger audience in a few days. Wish me luck. I wish you luck. I wish you more than luck. I've been thinking. I'm always thinking. But like, what is it about art? Hey Zach, what do you? Sly Raptor Z is my buddy Zach. The thing about art that I think people miss out, and Zach, I want you to hear this. Is there's a sacrifice that happens. Okay. It's a real sacrifice, and what you sacrifice is your safety. As someone who, you know, there's a certain safety in not trying, right? Right? But if you be like, I'm going to step out on a limb, I'm going to reach for that thing that I want. And if you misjudge, or you're not as talented as you thought you were, the branches are going to snap and you're going to fall. Everybody's going to see it. That's the sacrifice. That's the risk. That's the value that is in art. When people reward you for doing a good job, it's because it wasn't guaranteed. You could have failed. All right? But Jules, super smart. Super talented. We know you're going to crush it. So, you have our wishings of luck and everything else. When is your thing? When is your thing? It's in days or hours? In a few days. Okay. Well, what would that be? Friday? What day is it in Poland? 17th of May. All right. Wait, 14th of May. What happens on the 14th of May? What's the poem about? Is it a poem about how much you love my streams? But in all seriousness, I hope it goes well. I also think there's something about... Am I talented like you, Max? No, Danny. You're more talented. No, I glanced at your writing, Danny, and you need more practice in that than you do in your art. That's my honest assessment. But I'm glad you're getting the practice. Let me put it that way. Damn. All right. No, I mean, I'm here. Danny can handle it. Danny can. No. All of Danny, what Danny wrote was brilliant. But also, Danny, I'll talk to you about formatting. Yeah, don't worry about it. All right. Jules says, it's talking about how broken I feel, yet my girlfriend adds a spark of happiness to your life. Good. Yeah. If I only make you cry a little, it's because I love you. You wrote it in Old English. Oh my gosh. Guys, did you know that Jules speaks 8 languages, if I'm not mistaken? Or is it like 10? It like grows by the day. You speak Old English and New English. Yep, 8. All right. Zach actually speaks 0 languages, so it's pretty funny. You're aiming for 10. Speak 2 only. I don't even... I speak American. That's pretty much it. Formatting is the big old H word. Bad formatting is a clue someone's wasting your time. Yeah, it's a thing. Zach is kind of right. Zach was a former script supervisor extraordinaire, and clearly knows the lingo. Speak badass, yeah. Well, I'm hoping to not be overly distracting. Work with scripts for a living, yes. Zach, reading scripts, he's like, fuck, this sucks. I could do better than this. Chucks it on the ground. Hey, you walk that door, you're fired. And Zach says, bite me, fanboy, you know, or whatever. Because he's badass. All right, Jules, good luck with class. Good luck with everything. Hope to see you before your thing. If not, good luck. All right. It's amazing how bad dialogue looks on the page, but actors make it work. I saw a funny... Bye-bye, Jules. I saw a funny... It was like the writer for Gladiator. It was like an anecdote from the Gladiator movies. And this may be specious, you know, you see it on like social media or whatever. It's like, did you know? Yeah. But it sounded so right because Russell Crowe was just laying into the writer. Yeah. And he's telling the writer, your dialogue is absolute garbage. And I want you to know that. And the writer was like, He may have been right. My dialogue was pretty garbage, but he also delivered it really well. And he did, you know. Gladiator is an amazing film. But you could analyze the lines. They're a little chilly. They're cheesy. They're in there and they're cheesy for sure. People bring their talents. Maybe it's thematic, but I've been watching. Do you guys ever watch, like, or rather binge, those YouTube channels? And God, these days they're all made with AI, which sucks, but it's not a bad use of the tech. Essentially, they're just recounting stories of cave diving explorers gone wrong. And it's like a person didn't tell anybody where they were going and didn't bring any food, didn't bring any batteries for a flashlight, and basically like wandered into a cave and said, "Hey, wonder what's in this crevice," and then they get stuck. You know, and then by some like crazy force of confluence of events, like 6 days later, like some random hiker nearby hears them crying, and then they call the authorities, and so now people can like come and rescue them, but it's like they have to like drill into the rock and all this stupid crazy shit that like humans get themselves into. And then other humans, like by a team of like thousands, if they're lucky, can free them so that they're not entombed in the earth. And only for some other jackass to do it again the next day. And I've just had an epiphany that this is like how movies are made. Like some idiot greenlights something that has no chance of success, but then like one by one, talented people get roped in to save the thing. And then by some miracle, it gets pulled off. And then like all the wrong people get into the headlines. And before you know it, it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, that's so stupid, but it's like, that's how life works. Yo, Laika, how are you? God, it's been forever. I think it's also true that if people talk like they do in everyday life, it can be boring. Yeah, for sure, for sure. No, you need the escape. You can be one of those people that appreciates larger than life characters and hyper reality. Well, you have to distill it down for like a 2-hour movie, you know. So then it's like poetry, right? You have to elevate it a little bit. It's like Shakespeare. Like it. Get a little drunk. Oh, me too. So I'm sorry for betting here, but I bought an 8mm film projector from a thrift store for $14. I'm going to make art with it. That's really cool. Are you still? You're still singing, hopefully, right? Don't you? Did I mess all that up? Recording albums. Fun things like that. It's been so long. Hold on, I'm gonna post something. You're still doing music. Okay, good. I feel like we should listen to your music. Do you ever post it on YouTube? It isn't a mandatory thing, but definitely explore the multimedia stuff. I'm attempting. It's so funny. The nobody needs to, but the Tweech. There we go. Like, if you feel like it, there's a Discord link. There's no pressure, but there are idiots like like myself in the Discord chat, and many others. No, you don't have to post a link, or you don't have to ask. Here, I click on links. I like to live dangerously. There we go. Everybody, check out Leica. Here, let me pause this. Oh, you're in the Discord. Oh, then don't worry about it. No one has to Discord more than they should. What's a cool song to listen to? Pirate Radio. Familiar place. I clicked it. Someday is what you're most proud of. Here, we'll go back to that. Someday. All right. Loud at the end. All right, here, we're prepared. You have a great singing voice. It didn't get too loud. That's awesome. This is a little Radioheady, and I'm not a music guy, but it's a little bit Radioheady and a little bit like, if I recall, like, what's it called? The Books? Did you ever listen to the Books? Oh, is this what they are? You don't know the Books? All right, I've got the Books somewhere. The Books, they kind of do like, it's sort of like a remix found audio. You know what I mean? We'll see. We'll see if my hard drive can sort it out. It's somewhere in the archives. It's a compliment, though. Cool band. We'll see. All right. Charity's in the chat. That's not correct. The books. Let me see here. I want to see if I can find one book song. I only know of some things. What's their most popular? Is this it? No, that's not.
The lemon of pink. Flowing velvet.
It's like found audio. Shit they just string together and resample. But this is you're lurking, eating some animal style fries. Okay, quite literally, I was eating In-N-Out earlier today. Leica. Compliments. Claps. Let's give it up for Leica. Sharing some very cool music with us today. We'd love to see it. We'll listen to some more another time. Yeah, it's good stuff. I was eating some In-N-Out earlier today because it's Teacher Appreciation Week. And my wife went and got my daughter's teacher some In-N-Out for Teacher Appreciation Week. Literally and figuratively eating In-N-Out, but always appreciate the affirmation and feeling self-conscious about my work. I do too. That's I'm like, I've been listening to stuff and I'm like, I'm just a big baby because I'm so upset about not getting affirmation for my drawings the way I used to when I worked in the studio and people would walk by and say like, that's the coolest drawing I've ever seen or whatever. And now I just work in like a closet and nobody sees it. Nobody cares unless I put it on a stream and then I can get compliments or at least, you know, some interaction. I can fight for them a little bit. Anyway, no, it's that was an awesome track and I'll bookmark it. Make sure we'll listen to some more another time. So now you're bookmarked. All right. Good stuff. Zach is a musician too. He plays the skin flute, which is it's a rare instrument to behold. You need feedback. You do. Otherwise, it's like the true artist in you won't let you just sort of be like, oh yeah, that's good. Yeah, it's good. It's objectively good to everybody. And it's like, no, it's like, it's not enough to be like, oh yeah, that satisfies me. You know, I need to make, it's like, you have to practice every day. If you can't make somebody cry or feel something, it's like, what are you even doing, right? All right, I'm going to switch to the original scheduled. The books, though, like if you look up the books, you might. That's not to say it's like obvious to me that you should do that. I'm an idiot. I'm not a musician, but that was just a vibe I caught. A little Radiohead, a little the books. Consider it a compliment. The only reason I ever finished that album after hiding it for several years was because I drunkenly decided to show someday to my best friend. She hyped me from then on. I think it's important to not discount the role that alcohol plays in ultimately good decisions because, you know, a lot of what I do on this, you know, I have to hype myself up with a little booze and definitely never would have. alcohol causes good decisions, bad decisions like dropping your fries, and good decisions like being like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna marry my wife or whatever. You know, I proposed to my wife at a winery. You know, for instance, after a certain good amount of wine tasting. You know, it was all planned, but it helps to have a little courage, right? Like I look up the books and I hope you'll take it as a compliment, but some of that stuff was kind of cool. And then on the other hand, take it as a idiot's compliment because I've listened to like 4 tracks from the books. It was just something that stuck out in my brain. All right, with that, back to the Lord of the Rings lo-fi. We're just gonna keep colorizing. And Charity dropped her fries, but it was just a matter of time. There's some controversy that In-N-Out has bad fries, and I say those people are dumb. But I will admit their fries are different. But to me, I'm like, yeah, the difference is that these fries are real, and everybody else's fries are fucking like cooked 2 weeks ago and double fried so that they're twice as bad for you. They don't get them animal style. Yeah, well, animal style. See, I get my burger animal style, and I don't need my fries to be animal style. That's like grease on grease, but I wouldn't kick an animal style fries bed out of my bed, or animal style fries out of my bed. They're shoestring fries and fresh, must be eaten quickly. Shoestring fries. Does animal style? Wait, does In-N-Out do shoestring fries? I know you can get like double fried for extra crispy. They make you wait. Adding the pepper. My buddy would add. He'd take the ketchup. You're shitting me. So you can get shoestring fries? That's not something they eat. Do they do that at any In-N-Out? Solid double animal style is one of the few things I miss from when I meet. I today ate a double animal style, and it was gorgeous. There are some things you pick them up and you say, I will not put this down until I'm done eating it. Double animal style is one of those things. They consider them shoestring fries. Your phone is adding words again. Okay, it's all good. Just explain what you mean. Can make a decent replica with vegan meat, but that stuff's expensive. Not trying to go broke. Well, there's I don't mind giving my take on stuff. I don't think I have a controversial stance. For me, it's interesting. don't reflect well on the condition of how meat and food related to animals is produced on mass scale. In Star Trek, they referred to that as like animal enslavement and stuff, and I don't think that's the wrong idea. So it's then hard to say, like, well, why don't you do something about it? But it isn't something that it's a weird thing, but the annihilation of suffering is not the point to me. What I abhor is waste, and where there is waste, I won't be happy about that more than anything else. And so, like, at least if anything, when I cook my own meals and I, cook chicken and stuff, for instance, it's like I'll save the bones, I'll make a stock with it, I'll really sort of go to town and maximize its use, because it's not something I don't like the idea of like dishonoring the sacrifice. Like if you eat an entire somewhat cavalier, but it's like I ate the shit out of that double and made sure there weren't any crumbs left on my wrapper, and got it as close to 100% conversion of energy into me as much as I could to make sure there wasn't waste in the circle of life, I suppose. The insane amount of waste during the U.S. meat industry for various reasons. Yeah. And I don't like that. I've talked to my wife about, like, we should be raising chickens and stuff like that, so that, I'll turn all these, like, kitchen scraps, like, we've got composting and stuff. Like, I've got 2 giant compost bins that I turn over. We put all of our, like, kitchen scraps and eggshells, and I cook a lot, so this stuff is constantly getting filled, turned into soil, turning it into shit that grows in our garden. It's not a total absolution, but it helps, maybe it absolves a sin or two. There's an old Ben Franklin anecdote where, because Ben Franklin was a lifelong vegan, or vegetarian. I'm not sure exactly. Like, he may have eaten eggs. I'm not sure about that, but but he was on the boat to he was either going to America or from America, like back to England to do something or whatever. But he well, they had a lot of salt pork, and shit like that, and fish, but they didn't have a lot of, like, fresh produce for Ben Franklin to eat. And so he was, like, starving on this boat. And he's like, no, I'm not going to eat the fish. Fish are animals, and I don't eat animals, and I'm not going to do it. And the sailors laughed, and they just said whatever. And so they cut open this like fish. They're on the ocean, and they caught a fish, and they cut open the fish. And inside the fish are a bunch of fish. And they start filleting the fish, and like the smell of all the fish is like entering his starving nostrils as a vegan. And it's in one of his diaries or whatever, but he's like, at that point I saw that well, the fish had no problem eating each other. So why should I be such an exception to that rule? And so he eventually succumbed. And then what happened after that, I have no clue. I don't know if he gave it up after that or kept it up, but it's interesting. My wife was a vegetarian for a while. And then she got pregnant, and she sort of in almost a cartoonish fashion sort of resorted to her caveman instincts, and let's just say meat was back on the menu at that point. Baby wants meat, I think was the quote. And it was all good. But yeah, I'd like to see we have a friend who's in, well, she's not there anymore, but she native to Philadelphia, and sort of where my wife's family are from. And she studied agriculture and like farm economics and stuff like that. So she knew all about how to basically studied husbandry and how to work on a farm. And all the realities about how, you know, animals and humans have a bit of a symbiotic relationship. They kind of need help. And we need each other. Maybe a little. Let's see what this says. It was easier to do that when I lived in Bakersfield. Those kinds of farms were easier to access there. Yeah, right. I mean, ultimately, all animals die, and then they get eaten by something. That's, you know, what's the objection? Like, ants can't eat meat? Whatever, you know. Animals eat animals. Aren't we animals, you know? But the mass production of the slaughtering it's a little unnecessarily unpalatable. When I went to Ireland, it was different. Like in California, you drive up whatever the Grapevine, you go by Auschwitz, and it's like you're like, oh, is that what I just ate? You know, it's no good. But in a lot of places in America, they're, you know, you got small farms, and it doesn't seem as tragic, especially with chickens. They're so easy. There's a lot of places in the valley, like residential chickens. It's not a big deal. And then we were in Ireland and we were just driving around countryside and we're like, fuck, look how happy these goats are, and like these sheep and these cows. It's just like cows just hanging out in the grass. I'm like, these are fun cows. They just love it, you know. It's not all or nothing. You can have a happy medium, maybe. Farron happens a lot with pregnancy. Vegetarians that broke it purely because of pregnancy. Baby wants meat, but you know, the stress of pregnancy is significant. Gets pregnant by my injections that humans exercise a unique type of cruelty in the process. Unfortunate. An unfortunate amount of the time. Agreed. And there's a certain amount of like, it's not just unique to the animals, but I agree. We manage ourselves, you know, it's like animals, and then sort of manage ourselves sort of similarly, a little bit disposable. It's depressing. It's like the whole system is set up to extract the value. And that's gross, but anyway, I'm not trying to depress anybody. Anyway, this is a piece that will be it's one of those dungeon party pieces. If you play D&D, you'll, I guess, be familiar enough with the term where people who have been playing D&D together for a long time like to get their group portraits done. This is my buddy. He's finished up his campaign. They've defeated the evil dragon. There will be a dragon in the middle of this composition. It'll be intense and scary and spooky.
Go back, Steph! Going to Mordor alone. Of course you are. And I'm coming with you!
And I told him I'd have it ready for his birthday. That's... when I told him that, it was far, far away. And now it's like a couple weeks away. So, it's like I have a deadline now. Done stuffing your face, exhausted. Adios. Good night. Thanks for popping in. Finished piece will probably be a while. That's because I'm not... Your body requires nutrients. Listen, everybody stop typing in chat and then just go feed yourself. Because I'm going to do the same thing in about 10 minutes. I said at the beginning, this is a little bit of a maintenance stream. I have to maintain progress on this. I have to maintain progress on my stream. And that is to, you know, I don't know. You have to take a breath. Not sure what the appropriate analogy is. You use a plant analogy. It's like every once in a while, you got to get out there. Just water your plants. wet your plants.
Sam, I'm glad you're with me.
New hairstyle? A little bit. I shaved and I got my hair cut the other week and it grew in a little bit. It's not a big deal. Frankly, I think I need to get it cut again, but you know, haircuts aren't free. They're not free, so you have to be a little bit judicious. But welcome, Brain. This is me attempting to just squeeze in a little bit of a quick, easy stream. I've been double booked for let's see here. They can be free if you hand my kids a pair of scissors. Oh my gosh. I mean, I can let them do what they want and then just buzz off the rest. I don't need to, I don't think results me very... I've shaved my head before. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Not like in an aggressive way, but the, I can pull off pretty short hair if I have to correct anything. That would kind of be fun. Be like, hey kids, do you want to cut daddy's hair? The voice in the chin to pull off a buzz cut. It's happened before. I don't know if I have any pictures. They'd be old pictures. Hope work's been good. Yeah, work has been pretty good. Although, like, I should tell that, like, I got fired from a job the other day. Like a storyboarding gig. It's like never happened, you know, in my whole life, and it was like a... Well, it would have bugged me more if the client was... Okay, so to explain, no condolences needed. thankfully. Yeah, so basically last week I had a client that had booked me the entire week. And like Tuesday night, they were calling my agent. They're like, yeah, Max isn't working out. And my agent was like, whoa, what? Like, what are you talking about? This is like crazy to hear. Because it's never happened in like 20 years. A client like who had booked me to be like, no, reverse that, you know. And like my agent didn't have to. He couldn't have been like, no, you booked him, so you get to use him till you're done, you know. But we don't need to do things like that. So she's like, cool, can you tell me what happened? And they basically had no idea, and it was essentially like, I just heard from someone else, and I'm sorry to be the bearer of the bad news, but we love Max. We don't know what's going on. It's just the person who made the decision said he's not a good fit, and that was that. So then, you know, I had a chat with my agent about it, and we laughed, and we're like, cool, bye you. And later that day, she had me booked on a new project, and I've been on that for about 5 days. And I didn't miss a single day of work. Which is kind of a shame, because I could have used a break, but I'm on a cool, it's not cool, but it's a, at least not as chaotic. So, and the truth is that, you know, I'm great for a great many projects, but I can acknowledge that I'm not perfect on everything. And probably in my advancing age, some people in this industry talk smack. Oh, I doubt anybody talks smack about me who knew me, but the person who probably made the decision was probably somebody who like in this case, my director was like 10 years younger than me. It's like, what are you gonna do? Ultimately, I took it shockingly, because it's like, these people went out of their way to insist on me being on the project. Not this person, but the producers on the project were like, oh yeah, you definitely want Max. And the director was like, okay, sure. And then, like, I guess maybe they didn't feel the same way after working with me for 5 days. Times are tough in the industry. If the YouTube videos are anything to go by, they are tough. Yeah, objectively they're tough. Objectively, I see an unfortunate grinding down of the value of artists and art, just in general. And it's been hard to. So I considered myself very lucky to have that job in the first place. Even losing it, you know, I wasn't mad about it. I'm not about to burn a bridge. And then again, extremely fortunate to be like, well, I called one of your other clients and they want you. So, you know, wake up tomorrow and do this new thing. That's how it went. And I'm definitely a better fit for this project, so good. Happy about that. But you wonder, it was like, well, what was it? Did I speak my mind when I shouldn't have? Something like that. Zach says, HMO, aka Zach says, I once had a client, we got along swimmingly for like 2 years. Then he found out my age and was like, whoa, I thought you were my age. Stopped hiring me within 3 months. What age did he... Good. What age did he think you were? Zach, you're my age, so... Right? You're like 40. What did you think you were? It doesn't matter. Like, that's a shitty thing to do. But, like, just tonight somebody told me they thought I was mid-30s and oldest, like 27. You don't look that old. No. You do have some grays, but, like, whatever. Trim your beard. Okay, today I was like, what is that in my nose? And it was like, the chub smooths out the wrinkles, yeah. I was like, what is that in my nose? I was coming out of the shower. I took a rare shower, so I was like clean. I was like, what is that shining thing in my nostril? And it was like, you know how nostril hairs can get so long that they'll like curl back in themselves and like retreat up into your nostril and then they'll like grow. But in this case, it like flipped outward and it was like coming out of my nose by like a good half inch. And it was gray. So it was very easily spotted in the darkness. I yanked it out and yeah, it was fucking long ass gray nostril hair just hanging out of my nose. If age is a deal breaker, then probably not someone who's good for long-term business relationship. For me to, let me put it this way, for like me feeling like this kid was objectively, and it's not like young people have no right to their opinions or anything like that, but there's something to be said about experience at least. And we had been going 5 days straight where like they're just guessing at what their boss will respond well to. And everything they told me to draw, I would draw it and they'd say, great. And then they'd show their boss and they'd be like, my boss didn't like it. And I'm like, yeah, it's because, well, who knows why? And I'm like, well, maybe it's because you don't know what you're doing. But I didn't say that. I was like, gosh, well, I'm ready to try something else. And then they'd ask for something else. And then I'd draw that. And then they'd say, so good, so good. And I'd be like, great. And then they'd show their boss. And their boss is like, this is not what I want. And it was just a little bit like, okay. And then at some point I was like, you know, maybe this is a good idea. They're like, okay, let's try that. And I drew that, and they're like, oh, so good. And then they fired me the next day. So what can I say? Like, keep your mouth shut or don't. Like, I was sick of them at that point. I like making money. I also like not throwing away my drawings. Like, write a script. Figure out what you want. Like, stop hounding me, you know? If you're advancing along in your career, you're also working with old-ass directors who don't want to be working with a kid. To them, 40 years old is a kid. Yeah, no. It's a middle kind of thing. I'm sort of, well, sort of positioned in that a lot of my regular clients were my own age when I start. Like, we all kind of felt like we were coming up together at the same time in the motion graphics industry, which only really came about, like, motion graphics, like, as a concept in advertising came around in the year like 2002, 2004. And like by 2004, most of those companies were like set up and rolling. And then about 2007, those like people who were my clients graduated college and got into that industry. Brain is not a storyboard artist yet, but very talented artist nonetheless. And Brain, you're in India, right? Hope things are going well. Unless I totally fucked up my recollection on that, but so Zach, who is a heavy metal official, is in Los Angeles with me, and he does storyboards too. We're in the union together. All right, I'm not going to go too much longer. And yep, there's a war brewing. Zach has no idea there's a war. This is how LA Zach is. No, I'm just kidding. But Brain, I'm hoping things de-escalate to whatever extent they can, and be appropriate. Otherwise, Trump is going to come in there and apply all of his political skill, and nobody wants that. No, but it's tricky. I just hope things go okay. Jesus Christ, Zach. All right, Zach, go to your URL browser and type GOOGLE. And then click on the news. Yeah, aside from like a few, I mean, certainly Bollywood films, let's just call them that for now. I know it's more complex than that, but they have their appeal for US audiences, but not necessarily too extreme. Okay. All right. Zach is only feigning. He's a little too good at playing the idiot. No, just kidding. Yeah. Let me ask. It's like stupid trivia, but there's too many woes. I would hope that we can. I was thinking the other day about an analogy about how everybody is connected, you know. But some can view it a different way and be like, no, we're all quite divided, and you can quite see that my piece does not connect to that piece. But just like on any puzzle piece, on any puzzle, one puzzle and another puzzle piece, like, yeah, they don't connect. But where on the puzzle they do connect, they connect to other puzzle pieces, and ultimately those do connect. So we have connections regardless whether or not we connect directly into each other. Oh, hey Boxer. My brother is in the chat. Boxer, I'm trying to finish up here, so I don't need your distractions. But it's a little late. It's a little late, and I'm tired. So I'm gonna stop. Here, I'm gonna stop. I'm stopping. I'm saving and I'm stopping. Boxer's here, so we're done. No, it's all good. No, I'm just kidding. It's just it's past midnight and I was tired to start with, so it's all good. That's because I take you for granted. But yeah, maybe more tomorrow. It's all I can say is like today was like a Hail Mary stream. I was so I was so tired that I've had me on the big screen version of myself the entire time. I didn't even notice it till now. So it's hardly an art stream. It's more of like a look at Max stream. Well, the moral is that we can come together with art, but more so than that, let's come together with looking at me looking big. Right? But every project, if it's too big to do all at once, you can chop it up into small pieces and do it piece by piece. Yeah, it's decently crispy. This will be a portrait piece. It's gonna look, when it's done, it's gonna look like something like a movie poster, if I can do it right. Like, kind of like in the vein of like old school Star Wars posters from, you know, the first movies. That's kind of cool, right? You can try. All right. All the artists, all the good people. Baldur's Gate 3 art. Yeah, I'm gonna get to that. We're officially past the pure Zelda arc, so we're opening up to the other fandoms. There's room now for the other fandoms. It's official, so it's good. But all that is to say, go here now, and I'm gonna say no. I'll do Tarna. Yeah, we'll knock out some good stuff. Yeah. All right. I want to say good night, good luck. I haven't picked it up yet. I haven't been able to leave my house. Harry Canyon. Here's a nickel. Call somebody who gives a shit, you know. Hey, nobody gets the drop on Harry Canyon. The fee is 21 Zulex. Space credits. She was my type. All right. Good night. Thanks for popping in. I'll catch you next time. Adios.